All right, so here we are. This is like the moment of truth, right? We have a subdocument wired up to our student model, and we're going to test it out to see how subdocuments work within Mongoose. Is it going to work? You bet your sweet bippy. So let's create a test file. Under the test directory, we'll call it subdocument_test.js. Now, to begin with, we will create our boilerplate. As you may know, start off with assert statement, require assert, and then our student model. And we will add the describe statement, subdocument. That's going to be reasonable enough for this test. And an arrow function. All right. Inside of here, we should make a reasonable test. So I'm going to write the it block, creating a subdocument, and done callback. All right, so my aim here is that by creating a model with a nested collection for this example, their student model and article schema, we're going to be able to save it to my database and finally fetch that record successfully, right? So to do that, I just make my student, give it a name. Now I am going to start to add my article collection here. Now, there's not really a kind of a special statement that we need to write here. Just make sure that the structure matches with the expectations of the student model. So, I mean, we need to pass in a key, articles, and it should point to an array, article schema, and it should include a title property, which is string. And its title could be JavaScript. Okay, now Mongoose will see that there is an article property here. So it'll apply the article schema automatically. And what I mean when I say apply is that if we write any validation inside of the article schema, Mongoose will come out to play, so to speak. So by now, we're going to save our student JSON, and you already know how to save. It's totally the same here. So we write our top-level instance, JSON, and .save and .then. We're going to write the same test when we write for saving our model in the previous lesson. Namely, we will fetch the JSON out of our database and then make an assertion for him. Okay? So let's say student.find1, let's find JSON, and again, add .then. This time it'll be called with student. This student refers to student, which is returned by the find1 query. And we'll make an assertion. But before we write our assertion here, let's think about what we're going to assert. Okay, so we expect that the student has returned here and has got articles and a title property, and it should be equal to article title. So I think that's pretty reasonable. Okay, so let's write here student.article because I want the student to have articles as a property, like I said. And this property should be an array, so I'm going to look at its first record, so I'll write 0 here. And I want to grab the title property of this record. And then finally, I expect that this should be equal to JavaScript. And one last thing, don't forget to add done callback here. All right, so that means we're ready to test. Well, would you look at that? All the tests have passed. All right, so as you can see, whenever I want to add a new property into my student model, it'll be automatically nested. Besides that, there's no rule about the properties my schema can have except the ones which require validation. All right? So in the next lesson, we're going to learn how we can add new records to the subdocument.